Alright, first thing up on the docket, we're trying Zoe Bard. So, Bard, for those who aren't familiar, one of the new champions that came out in the World Walker set. He puts chimes in our deck, and when we draw them, random units in our hand get +1/+1, and when he levels, the chimes do that, plus buff our stuff in play. So we're trying to leverage all of these buffs and put them on evasive threats. So our other champion, Zoe, being a not only an elusive threat, but one that generates us some card advantage, and when she levels can buff our whole board with various keywords. Esmus is a card that usually pairs with Bard, but happens to be elusive as well. We got Lunari Shadestalker here, a couple of Crescent Guardians, not quite elusive, but with an evasive keyword in the form of Overwhelm. Sparklefly, solid combination of keywords here, but a little bit lacking in the power level department, but of course the chimes can greatly change that. And then just up at the top end, we have a variety of cards that are useful in different spots. Bastions to protect our key threats, Ground Slams to buy us some time, got Solari Sunforgers here to gain us some life. Then we have a couple of 6s here. We got trying this new Celestial Trifecta card. Both as a way of generating card advantage, it also gives us a variety of things to play to help level Zoe. Can find a number of elusive threats as well, and Cygnus can help us close out the games by being a big elusive threat himself that a lot of chimes proc onto, and then maybe as a way to push Bard, who notably is, I think, the only unit in our deck other than the lower end stuff that doesn't have a keyword, so can help us push through damage with a big old Bard if we need to. But yeah, nothing too fancy, but hopefully somewhat playable. Let's hop onto the ladder and see if that is the case. Get rid of our 4-drops. I don't think I want to Pale Cascade early, but I will take 2 mana 1/2. Okay, well, with that draw, I think we'll definitely start with Zoe. Starting with Zoe does mean that we could potentially lose her to turn 3 Avalanche post-combat. Because this could could buff her up and then it's just lost. But I think the fact that she's going to probably generate a card or two before then makes it worthwhile. Pale Cascade helps us dodge that, though, so that's kind of nice. Do we want to play something out? Do we want to play this guy out now so this draws us a card? Maybe? Well, no, now they all die, dummy. I could do Pale Cascade on this, though. Yeah, that was silly. Alright, not gonna be punished for our stupid play. I thought too many moves ahead. Yeah, Catalyst, yep. But I'll go ahead and do this now. That getting hit is nice. We have Star Chart into Pale Cascade to save our Zoe. They want to...
The trolls are going to war!
Now I'm debating doing Sparkle Fly. Yeah, sure. Let's go ahead and play out a Bard. Might actually just play back-to-back. Ones of these. Let's start with the one of them first, though. That is a big Sparkle Fly. So he'll level as soon as I attack with this. That's pretty good. Might actually be worth swinging with Bard himself. I'm not buffing you. I might buff you. You become a 4, which means maybe with some triggers here we can actually kill the Trundle. We'd only push 1 more damage anyway. I guess if he doesn't want to block him, if he wants to eat this, then potentially loses to the Bard. Or it just means we push more damage with
They look angry.
Still dead. Okay, frostbiting the... Fortunately, this will die. Clear all units with 4 or less power in play. 4 or less power? Oh, okay, 4 or less power. Unfortunately, I can't draw a card with this, eh? Do I want to do this now or after? I guess I die and I don't want to get rid of either of these things, so... We're gonna put this out.
Golden as the dawn.
Could have Ruination.
Radiant strikes.
Was just able to cross the finish line there. It was looking like that She Who Wanders was going to be the end of us there. Because we just got a few too many... A few too little procs on the... Or too few procs on the on our weaker units. Both in hand and in play. I think we really want that any of the cards in our opening hand there. Another Zoe on one when we have the attack token. Loving it. Early Sparkle Fly in hand is always nice, of course. 10 out of 10 we're gonna get hit by the Challenger unit, but it is. Two-mana Challenger, we don't have any way to save it, or save our Zoes. Easy blocks here.
Every work demands a piece of ourselves.
I think I'm actually just gonna pass and see what they do.
I've come a long way from a flying stone bird.
Okay, well they're almost certainly swinging. This dies to both of those. I can play a Bard. I don't want my Elusive to die, so...
Protect and strike.
I'm probably supposed to say this. My life, if I had lost some life, maybe this is worth playing, but...
A little reinforcement at the scene. No closer.
Hopefully they let us play a card before trying to eat this thing with the O4.
A slight adjustment. at the seams.
I'll just pass. They want to pass back, that's fine. We get to keep most of our stuff for a round.
Steady hands.
So... guess we'll do this. Kind of want to... I want this to start drawing, but I kind of need this to be...
Darkness hides my...
I need Nightfall enablers, so...
Whatever the cost. That's a bit better.
Discipline and steel.
We were peaceful once.
We're dead. We are dead. Especially if they have like 3 cost or less unit into 4 Demacia, we're probably just dead.
Needs a finishing touch.
They have a rally effect? Is that why they opened on attacks here? And what is going on over here?
A little reinforcement at the seams.
Yeah, this card is very good in this archetype, especially when we're not a Mystic Shot or, you know, Death's Hand deck. We can't easily dispatch with this.
A slight adjustment.
A lot of elusives. I don't know that we can really win, but...
Shining gifts from the sky.
Right, how much elusive damage do we have? This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then plus a bunch of other stuff.
Unseen, unheard.
This will push some damage too, but it's just like, it's not going to be good enough.
Courage, soldier.
Guess I'll swing with this too, because I kind of need the life.
Meet them head on.
Got a model for me?
We've run out of gas. Yeah, that Swiftwing unit is pretty interesting in that archetype because it just gives you a sustained sustained amount of threats in hand at all times, and of course the one threat that is a doubler benefits greatly from getting hit by buffs. You're basically doubling up any of the chimes that hit it. The Silverwing duo, whatever they call them. Yeah, pretty neat. Might want a Pale Cascade, but backup Zoe is nice. Yep. So we'll play Mystic Vortex, hoping that our Zoes get buffed. That one's kinda nice. Let's start with this.
We each hold a world within.
I mean, there's a good chance that Zoe's just gonna eat it, right? But I don't think we sit around doing nothing. Of course, our one of Dustbringer happens. So they have this Hexite Crystal to worry about. I mean, they're just gonna block with this. Doesn't really do a whole lot.
Shining gifts from the sky.
I fight with my spirits, not my fists.
Yep. Getting them to use this before we have a big board is nice. Especially because they just healed all that damage. Yeah, deal.
Bright light.
Night flowers upon my blade.
You cannot hold us down.
Be honest, do I want to do that? I probably have to save the deal 3. No, I probably have to save that for a whatchamacallit.
Unseen, unheard.
My
I'm wondering if I should do this. We're grinding, man. We are grinding.
My spirit is an unquenchable fire. Where there is life.
Now this is where I might regret not keeping more stuff.
Daylight star will rule the skies.
Am I supposed to play something out? I think I'm just supposed to open on an attack.
You cannot win. Misstep.
Many past lives in a single soul.
All right.
We were two. Mother Moon veiled. Invisible to the ignorant. Blinding daylight.
Yeah, this doesn't do much.
My light shines.
Maybe I'm supposed to keep this around.
Your attack is obvious.
Okay, they're gonna heal a bunch. Or actually, yeah, I don't know what else that... They get the recall, right? Yeah, so they could homecoming one of these, and then that protects it against this, sadly. I do get Spell Shield back, though.
I see. It is time.
The Order rewards its faithful.
Is this worth bastioning for? I think so. Now the question is this worth keeping around? It's another worthwhile question. Losing their draw, whatever it is. This is a biggin, I have to say.
For truth. I rise.
This is probably stupid to throw away, actually.
Forgive me.
You cannot escape.
By force of will.
It's too late for you.
Act with conviction.
so calm.
Would panicking help, brother?
Cygnus, how I missed your light.
Thank the mother you're all right. What have you learned?
Ionia speaks through me.
What's doing over there?
Everything's a lethal threat, so I may as well keep you alive.
You cannot win.
What a game.
That was super fun, and I gotta say,
Yes, please. How good is Ground Slam gonna be? I think we look for a 2.
I bear a message from. Oh, hey, what's that? Paradigm shift time! Wah!
I sculpt what others only dream of.
The sea she calls, the world we answer.
Fortunately, didn't really draw very well, huh? I suppose... Let's go with this.
Can I borrow your lens, Spark?
essence.
See if we can try to block you. They could easily have a buff, but worth trying. Took us a while to find that stuff.
Riddle me something cool. Ship time.
I could protect it. Does it really do much, though? Kinda need to kill you. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it happen.
Embrace.
Playing this super cool star chart before attacking was silly, I think,
Truth better.
in the end.
Truth is no bad thing.
Who loves bubbles? Me.
Where's my hammer?
I'm gonna take this hit. Darn, they have another tentacle smash. Or whatever, a way to deal damage. Good game. Yeah, we needed to... Does Bastion stop that? Yeah, maybe we're supposed to play around that. I think the way we win that game is trying to get... Zoe was pretty close to leveling. We could have then dropped the Sparklefly and had a bunch of elusive healers. And I think that's how we can potentially win that game. So I don't know if we're supposed to play around another removal. I guess I wasn't thinking about Demacian removal as much. So maybe I'm just supposed to hold up Bastion there. I actually don't know how Bastion interacts with that move. Does it just stop... Does it stop it entirely, or does it just stop the challenge and she'll still get the free attack? I'm assuming she still gets a free attack, she just can't challenge the thing, but maybe I'm wrong. That's too bad. We had a nice hand. I definitely should not have played the star chart post-combat. It really didn't do much. We had plenty of cards in hand, so all I did was like waste the mana, basically.
Let the bloodshed begin.
Sure. It kind of makes me want to play... Oh, no, she already got... I guess we could hush that. Do we care?
They're afraid. They should be.
They'll never know what killed us.
I guess they could do Blade's Edge plus Disintegrate. They're not. Okay. That's a big boy already. I could get hit with a vengeance, which would suck. How big of a deal is that?
I do this for her, for us. Oppose me and die!
Not getting the chimes I want.
Every Skyrim memento I've earned.
I bear a message from... Oh, hey, what's that?
Buy me a brew.
It's a bit awkward. I guess we can go. Nothing, huh? If I do this. He's also a 5/4, it's just kind of annoying.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
As much as I'd love to attack with this guy, we didn't proc onto him, so I would like to at least trade with this. Definitely gonna throw this out because I want the buffs, future buffs to go on these things. Oh, I guess stuff in hand, stuff in play could get hit by his.
She waits for me beyond the mist, my queen.
One shot, you for many others.
Mother Moon veil me.
Seen plenty of killing. Never gets old.
Who loves bubbles? Me!
I'll spin you a story.
Hide no longer. Brothers.
No going back.
Universe demands change. I'm doing it anyway.
Blood for Noxus! You cannot hold us down. This might hurt. We will be free.
How do you like them sparkles? Reality is just your mind crumbling under what it doesn't understand, silly!
Boring.
Zahn taught me to never let my guard down. Give it chase. They'll never see these coming.
Mystic shot this. Yep. How dare my opponents interact with me?
So close.
Well, what have we here?
Darkness hides in my path.
on me mask, secure me tail, start the day.
I want this thing to get as big as possible before we drop it. Because reasons. It's probably our best chance of surviving all of the traps. Would like it to become like at least, I don't know, three more chimes on it would be nice. Two more at least. How much do I want to save that? I think I'm kind of into saving it. This might be wrong, because I kind of want to block with her this round. You can block with him now, too. This blocks here, she blocks here. They have another removal for this. Definitely gonna buff Bard and swing in, because then this trades. Or this, he can eat this if he blocks.
One step ahead.
Must we fight?
Peacemaker protocol.
The higher my life total is, the better, so definitely gonna take blocks like that.
Only a fool would enter battle unprepared.
I'm debating if I'm supposed to keep this Sparkle Fly in hand.
I aim to win, and my aim is excellent.
No chimes.
Farina, what brings you here?
Business and pleasure, Sheriff.
What a top deck. What a top deck. I'll do one more with this. Nah, let's move on, actually. We had some fun games with this deck. Outground a Karma. A leveled Karma with just an insane amount of chime triggers. Run down a... got to level a Zoe and run down a Viego deck with elusive life drainers. Yeah. It's a neat deck. I think it's between this and the Jinx deck for my favorite Bard deck currently. I'll have to play around more. I kind of want to try the Demacia Bard deck that we've been seeing. Also want to revisit the Illaoi Bard list, but yeah, for now, kind of can't go wrong with Bard decks. They're just, it's just a really fun, satisfying champion to play with.